Hello and welcome. And this video will take a look at buying and selling cryptos. All trades, bets, and of the like, of course, is within everyone's own risk and their own reward. I'm going to talk mainly about small exchanges, and the Litecoin exchange is really where I'm going to be primarily focusing towards such on. So therefore, we'll go over that, and this is what I've written down. Good, close to a couple dozen codes on the Litecoin exchange that I think are interesting plays. I'm going to look at every single one of them. And then of note, this is what I'm going to start off with. Some things in which the code live, code QTUM, DCR, there were just some big buys in there. The whole point in why I am now playing this exchange, and why I want to add some of these coins in. I'm going to add a few of these in. For sure, Komodo. I'm going to actually buy Komodo. I can't do that now because I'm waiting for Bitcoin. We'll talk about that soon. XZC I'm going to be buying and adding to this exchange. I'm already trading these two already. SRN I'm probably going to... I don't know if I'm going to buy that. But there's a live play right now. That's why I got this written like that. And then all of these here, small codes. And I don't own any of these. But I might get into one or two of them. I got a decent amount of Litecoin, but the thing I'll be talking about how in this exchange is pretty much a mistake to buy and sell amongst Litecoin, and it's an amazing play to be alert and buy and sell. Again, we'll talk about that as well as we look at charts. So recent winner XJO, not me. That's pretty much one of the new live ones. I'm going to talk about bidding wars. RYO is a good candidate, but I'm not in the mood for bidding wars. So I'm not going to play it. But if you want to try to bid, and I don't know how good the other bidders are, we'll call them the makers, because this is what generally the strategy is about. It's not about that taking strategy on the Litecoin. I'll talk very briefly about that. BIR, good chart to explain candle trading. So if you to understand candlesticks and a good basics, just how they work, and then when these situations actually play, this is a good chart. You want to talk about true shit coins? There's a lot of them, but it's just one of the many, and I don't play any of them. And then true trading meaning it's like trading normal exchanges, but these are big codes like ZEC, Dash, NEM, and Ethereum, and there's a bunch of others, Ethereum Classic, and so many others. And the big one on here is actually Doggy. That means that you're playing decent sized exchanges. It's not a small exchange like all of these other coins are. To a degree, DGB isn't really, but it's definitely, I think, worth the play. So this is going to be a long video. So other things we're going to do is, if we're going to be adding codes like, Komodo I'm going to buy. I'm going to show that. But like SRN, I don't know if I'm going to get in that. But XZC, well, I'm going to be buying that most likely on Binance. What I'll be doing is checking the Litecoin price for me to buy. If I happen to have a better price there, I'll take it, but most likely I will not. And I'll have to buy it. So I'll transfer it over from there to Cryptopia. And then when it arrives, I will have the funds. I can do the same with Komodo, but unfortunately, wallets are down right now. But to me, that's a must play as well. So then, there's a lot of things to go over. So let's now take a look at live, QTUM, and DCR. We'll go to the Litecoin exchange here. Now within these charts, generally speaking, what you have, and I got them off, I'm going to put them on and back off again. Well, the volume's already on. I want this volume and this off. I'm going to have to save my profile changes because I'll show you why. Well, let's just go on here, take a look at this on, say, the 6-month time frame. And we can see that this price had this interesting day. So we'll just go scroll this into place when I can. I'll go 1 month, that might even be faster. Why is my mouse not cursing? I'm trying to curse over it. Well, anyway, that's this move here. It goes up several folds higher. I'm just going to have to refresh this. Maybe that'll work. Two-week time frame. 1 month time frame. If I go like this, that fixes it. Okay, that fixes it. Okay. So the high on here is 00469 when the price is 00021. That's a 3x move. Looking at the other coins, we have Qtum here. And what we can see amongst this is these moves. I'm going to be talking about how this works, where the open was up here, the close was down there. And generally that's because the last trade was at the 8 handle. So the next trade, somebody bought it up here. And then on the same day that someone sold it, or bought it even possibly, but pretty much sold it, down to this level here. So everyone who had orders in between, those things will get filled and everything. But when we look at Qtum, yeah, I can see all this. So now I want to take all of this volume and stuff off. But to note, before I do that, when you look at the top of the screen where it says VOL right in here, many days it doesn't even trade. There was 5 Litecoin traded that day, which isn't not that much. 0.37. We'll be talking about all these other coins that have like 0.457 but this one here has 83 Litecoin volume. So there wasn't too much on the bids. So let's take a look at these order numbers here. 65, 75, 85. These are for sales. So it only takes 27 Litecoin to get this to a half. In fact, even 43 Litecoin goes to the 4. And what this number here is a total Litecoin in here. So we can see that all of these 20 numbers represent that of how much it would take. And then we're talking 0.33 when the price would take like 5-6x move to get there. That explains why these moves happen, because there's people that would have 27 Litecoin and probably maybe by mistake or whatever reason. I don't care the reason. I just know that it happens, and it makes sense just based on this that's why you put your orders within the range. Now, when you see something like this, this is huge. Notice right here where it says 0.588, and then it goes to 24. So someone is looking to sell 200 of these things at the 12 handle. So you want to put your sell orders early or lower than that, 120, 115, 110. I'm not playing this code, but had I played, I'd be putting, I'm playing 120. I'm gonna take the 120 slot and put a sell order there, because I want to take advantage of as many of these types of up moves. What I want to do here is take off the volume, take off the moving average, and then I can just, again, see this day here. The price action before, we can see the high and the lows, 0.06, 0.05 area, and this goes over 4. And so you imagine, there's not, I mean, you put 100, 200x beds in there, because, yeah, I'm going to put a bid at 120, but I'm not going to sell everything there. No, I'm going to leave some back. Where do I want to sell all of them at? Well, does this number change anywhere? It goes to 36, 40, 50. I mean, there's no real big moves until this 150 here, which is at 9. So you could, I mean, obviously, if you were playing the strategy back then and you had 8, you wouldn't have hit. But if you were playing, say, in this little area, you would have hit, because it only takes 40 Litecoin to take it to 4, and we've seen that it's already happened many weeks ago within this chart. So that's Qtum. This is Decred, and we can see it had it this day. This was a spot where it went up to like 2 and 4 as well. What was it trading at in this area here? Around 1. So it goes up like 3 times here, about 5 times there, 4 times whatever. It happens. How does the bid-ask ratio look in here? Well, we can just scroll down and see, oh, same thing. We got some, well, the one place here is like 110. And current price right now is 61, it looks like. 61.5 and 66. So the fair price is probably like 63, 64 area. Almost always. Now, one of the ways of winning in this game that I'm not going to talk much about, but I will right now, is the arbitrage. For if the cred is either pumping up or down very big, and the real price gives you a deal. What you do is you take the ratio of Litecoin and Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin price divided by the Litecoin price. Right now it's about 123. And then you multiply that by its going price on the Bitcoin exchange, because that's where those markets mainly trade as it is anyway. This is just a measure of what one price is divided, or what the Bitcoin price is, multiply the ratio. And in a situation where, say, Decred against Bitcoin goes up like 30, 40% or down like 20, 30% kind of deal, well, what you'll see in a situation when it's up, well, right now the fair price is 63. Well, it could work out that the fair price gets to like 70, 74, 75. Now you can just start buying all of these orders up and then selling them against Bitcoin. So you just go here. You would maybe sell them on a different exchange, sell them on, go over to or go over to just click on this Bitcoin here, and then you click on that and sell it there, or wait for the price to get right, or again sell it on maybe Bittrex, Binance, or wherever else. That is what you would do. And same thing when this is going down. If, say, this is going down, you can sell it maybe, I can sell 5 Litecoin worth at 6.15. I can sell another 6 at 6.13. I can sell another 3 at 6.12. And in this situation, what's going to happen is it's going to give me a spot where I'll sell here and then buy it against Bitcoin somewhere, again, just thereafter, because the true price might be like 0.55 or something. So those are the arbitrage situations. So let's continue looking at the chart. So I had Decred before, so we're going to do XJO. Which is Jewel coin. See, this just happened. It's a 4x move. But every sell order that came into place was a winner. Right now, we've gotten bids 22,000, so that's pretty much closer to the fair price. 27 is entered. There's also this 36. So these 3 orders were added after the fact. And of course, these ones didn't get hit because everything else was taken out. But what there was there. And that's why in this we're going to be making buy orders and sell orders to take advantage of these possible situations. Okay, let's next take a look at RYO, which is a bidding war. Talk about that. But we'll also talk about these moves. Look at how these moves are transpiring. How it goes up from like 50 down to 30. Even in here, you got moves going from like the 10 handle close to like the 17, 18 handle. These moves here. Well, when you look at the bid-ask ratio, you got a bid of 25 and an ask of 48. One of the things I did in my early days of trading on a small exchange with the code Descent. It's available on Bittrex now, but this was its early days. I noticed that there was a bid order for 20,000 and 48 here. I was like, so what I did was I put a bid order for 20, a little over the 20 number. So in this case, I would have put in, say, 26,000 or 260,000, the 26 handle. And then I got it. So they sold to me. Okay, so now what I would do is I put my sell order in for 482. And then I end up getting my sell order. And I'd have to go back and forth because what happens in a spot like this, if you're able to accumulate, first you got to find a way to do it. One of the easiest ways of doing it is to go to Bitcoin exchange and buy it at the Bitcoin price. Now you own it and you can put your sell order in for 48. But this player here, maybe even this player is in the game as well, or they're the same two people, or the same one person rather, is gonna, you go 48, next thing they're knowing they're 47 or 47.9. So now they're in control of the lead if someone buys, and then you're gonna have to just bid back and forth. So if you're willing to do stuff like that, and I'm not, then that's oftentimes how this game works. So it looks easy. Oh, I'm just gonna put my sell orders up top and buy orders down there. Yeah, it looks easy, but when you're in situations when the market is like this, that's because selling here and buying there is always going to create such. And this can happen, and because you're losing the bidding war, it's the people winning the bidding wars that are getting the buys and the sells amongst this situation. So BIR is a good chart to explain candlestick charting, and let's bring it up. Okay, let's scroll this up here. So when you see these lines move like this, that means nothing happens, really. And green and red candles, red candles down, green candles up. And when it's up, that means the open is the bottom, the close is the top. On red candles, that means the open is the top and the close is the bottom. The lines that we see here means the price did go up or below to that point. I think everyone knows that. But when understanding this, okay, how do we explain what happened up here? First of all, the mathematics is, okay, this looks like a 6 or so X gain to me, which is awesome. And then that means that on this last day, the last close was the 223 handle. And that means this opened at 218. So somebody bought it up. The next move was a buy all the way up to 218. Within that day, there was further buying a little bit higher, which might have been someone bought, had a bit of cash, and just bought a bit more. I don't know. That's weird that that happened, but it's interesting to see because that's extremely rare. Usually you just get like just to that line point. So the next day, really nothing happened. So on this day, somebody had to put a buy order in at this one handle. Only way this can be explained. For the last trade was here, so the next trade would have been it could have been a buy. See, this would have been a buy. This is how it's explained. Because obviously all of the buy and sell orders would fulfill. So then what happened was within the ask section, somebody or many people put bids to that 100 number, and somebody took it. And then later on that day, with the close and the low being in at the 243 handle, that means that there was a trade back at that price. And well, that's to me, this is just to note that stuff like this also happens on this exchange. So when this happened, the bidding war doesn't mean much at all now because so many people. I don't have to put the volume on here to know that it was high, but let's just do it. Volume, and the volume on this, actually it wasn't so high at all. It was volume 141, but still that's enough. I mean, I myself feel like I'm a relatively decent sized player, and every minimum play is worth 2.5 Litecoin for me. So I'm only ever going to sell about 30 or 40 Litecoin worth, for me to sell 40 Litecoin, it's got to be higher than a 4x gain. So in this, for a 4x gain, I'm going to sell maybe 3 or 4 Litecoin. maybe 5 Litecoin. So obviously I can play in that. I would, if I was playing it, I would be like 5 of the 141 basically. And yes, let's move forward on because this is taking some time. There's a lot to go. A true shitcoin. This is just because of its price. And it's 13. And even this sloth, that's even a bigger shitcoin, I guess. But the thing about this is, one, can you trade it? Well, it's looking pretty good. You got some moves. You had one of these days here, so there's, although that's the open, so I kind of hate counting that. That doesn't really count for me. But when you look at the price, when you see markets at around 123, that means, or around 260 on here, that means it's 1 or 2 Satoshi against Bitcoin. But when something is worth much less than 1 Satoshi against Bitcoin, then it gets sent to exchanges like the Litecoin. And if it gets really bad against Litecoin, you send it to the Doggy exchange. And given now that we're over 20 minutes, and I'm really just going over this introduction part, I still want to look at all of these markets here. And I also want to make a few trades and show how position sizes work. I'm going to do at least a second part. So I'm going to finish it off within this section here, which is Dash, NEM, ZEC, Ethereum. Again, there's more like Ethereum Classic, and even DGB counts as this as well. But let's take a look at them. So Dash priced at 275, or it's 2 3/4 times higher. When we look at this chart, what do we see? We are seeing normal movements. Now Dash is an interesting one, and I'm playing this one. This one here has movements like this here. We can see how it just gaps down because it's got extremely low volume. But the market always moves to where the price is. For I mentioned already that the art of the arbitrage. This is a perfect example to do such because of its low volume. When we look at here in sell orders, $30 Litecoin, which isn't that much, brings it up to 3 and change. That's a decent size move. And then it doesn't really get big over to 100 until, and this is me right here. This is the 2 green lines. But at 55. So so I got a sell order at 55 to sell 55 at the price of 32. No, excuse me, the price of 55. I'm setting 0.32 Dash. So I'm looking to get 17 Litecoin here if somebody does it. 113 Litecoin, yeah, that mistake could happen. But you see where I went to the end of this big run here, because this number is just way too high at the 758, like 625 price. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to take it. But you know what? Why not? You see how the numbers go so big from 116 to 758? Why? I mean, I didn't do it. But putting an order in for 740, 700, 600, any of these big numbers, if it happens to come and someone accidentally buys at least 130 Litecoin worth, well, hopefully, I would hope you're going for more than 13 Litecoin. Maybe not quite this many, but I hope you'd be going to get 20, 30, 40 Litecoin at this price. And just to, I mean, it's not likely going to happen, but it's worth a shot. So you're playing it like normal markets, and we see the volatility. 250 low, 350 high. So the differential is 1 basis point. And therefore, that's 40%. So you can't play big volatility. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. is playing the big volatility. But I'm going to be doing that with codes like Komodo, with Zera, DNA, PROC, XZC. Any of these, not as much DGB, but my strategy for playing for big moves is in DGB. We'll take a look at that later on. Now, I'm not going to show NEM, ZEC, Ethereum because it's pretty much all the exact same thing. It moves within the market, and if you want to trade it like you would make any normal trade, like you're trading a Dash against Bitcoin or Komodo against Bitcoin, you're pretty much doing the same thing here, where you play, okay, I'm going to play for 20% moves. So at 250, you're looking to sell at like $3, so you get a sell order here. Then maybe you sell again at like 350, and then you'd be buying the 350 back at 3. You could do all that type of stuff in here, and it works. And also note too, yeah, we see a low volatility, but we're in a very low volatile base set market, and at this for pretty much the entire year. So at any given time, these markets can get so wild and volatile that you could see this thing start to swing, where it might range from like 2 to 12, and maybe you might get a lucky move where within the 2 to 12 range, it maybe goes down to 0.1 or up to like 100 or something, because we've just seen those moves. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean we can't have one of these moves with any of these kinds of codes. So thank you for tuning in. Again, the next video we're going to be taking, I'm going to do probably 3 parts. The second part, we're going to take a look at these codes. And the third part, we're going to actually do some trading. So thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.